really thinking about the awesome things that have happened this year and pushing into next year, VIP Ignite Experience. After 5 years, it's hard to believe that we went from a podcast to a network to now a media company that produces great in-person experiences.
You're listening to Bridge the Gap Season 5, a podcast dedicated to informing, educating, and influencing the future of housing and services for seniors. This season is powered by sponsors AccuShield, Inquire, One Day, LTC REIT, It's Never Too Late, Meridian Capital, Solinity, and the Bridge Group Construction.
Welcome to Bridge the Gap Podcast, the senior living podcast with Josh and Lucas, Season 5 on the BTG Network. A whole new season ready to roll out, and we could not be more excited and grateful for all of our listeners. You know, Josh, we have a bunch of loyal listeners that have been with us since Season 1, and when we've got a lot of new listeners as people have seen us on LinkedIn and on social media, and as they've searched Google for senior living podcasts, looking for resources, they have run across Bridge the Gap and tuned in. And we are so grateful. We're glad that you're listening wherever you are right now. If you're exercising, traveling, maybe you're walking the dog, or just taking a little bit of a break and getting some content from us, we want to tell you from the bottom of our hearts, we're very glad that you're here and so glad that you're listening in to Bridge the Gap.
Yeah, Lucas, I mean, it's actually really humbling, and it's kind of shocking to think of how many years this has been going on. The time has flown. It's become more than what we ever envisioned in the beginning, and it's always been so much bigger than us. But Season 5, Season 6, I mean, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait for our listeners to hear some of the things that are happening and going to be happening in this exciting new 2022 year we're entering into. And you'll have to stick around to the end because we're going to save some of the big announcements to the very end of this episode. So we always love to give that teaser. But the Bridge the Gap podcast that me and you bootstrapped in the beginning, we started, just had a passion. It's fun to see not only Bridge the Gap grow, Lucas, but when we started, there wasn't any other senior living podcast. And now what's so exciting is what we hoped would happen. Now, tons of people, more and more people are creating content and sharing their content and sharing their stories on the podcast platform. And that's really exciting because that helps us all be better. It helps more people that don't know about our industry want to join us. And we think that helps to change the public perception and bring people into the awesome industry we call senior living.
And, you know, we need a lot of people to kind of come alongside and help us. And one thing that BTG launched last year that was big success was our ambassador program. And so the ambassador program is basically a way for our listeners and supporters to come alongside Bridge the Gap and basically wave the flag, wave the BTG flag, help us get the word out, help us connect to new people and new ways of content. And so we had a very successful first year, and we're very excited to announce the 2022 ambassadors, which will be coming out very, very soon. Be on the lookout for those senior living rock stars at btgvoice.com on our ambassador page. And if you want to be an ambassador at Bridge the Gap, you can fill out a form on our website, and we would love to discuss that with you. Come on and come join us.
Absolutely. And I know right now, for those that are listening, maybe driving to work, maybe, as you said, walking the dog, we get so many messages of people telling us where they listen to us, which is always fun. But I will tell you, some people are probably right now thinking, oh my gosh, how did I not know about this? How did I miss this? It's okay. The FOMO is real. We get it. But if you go to btgvoice.com, that section is up there. So you can go ahead. We will be launching again in the next new year, an opportunity before the end of the year for you to join the team, for you to become an ambassador. But one of the best ways that you can keep up with all the latest announcements is to subscribe to our newsletter. You're going to be seeing more content coming through email and through different campaigns this year. Sign up for what you want to be part of. And when we drop, you're going to hear that information first before anybody else, and you won't miss a thing. So be looking for that. Sign up for the newsletter on btgvoice.com.
In addition to our newsletter that's going to be going out and sending out that bunch of information for people to follow, we are very excited to announce a new digital magazine, the BTG Magazine. It's going to spotlight some of the most downloaded and impactful episodes of 2021. We're going to have some ambassador spotlights, and we're going to talk about our VIP Ignite experience. You know, Josh, we had so many great shows in our 4th season, and a couple of them are going to be highlighted in the new digital magazine. We'll never forget Mary Daniel and her story about her husband. You know, Mary's from Florida. She did attend our VIP Ignite experience, and her story has gained worldwide exposure. And she was on our podcast, and it's just one of the most important stories of the pandemic in our industry.
It really was very memorable for me. And one of the things that I love about what we're continuing to do on the Bridge the Gap network is share content on a variety of different forms. And really, no matter how you want to receive content, you can do that. The magazine that you mentioned, Lucas, is amazing. Some people like a very visual display that they can take and they can reference when they want to. Limited production of these. If you want an actual hard copy, we're going to be doing a few of those, but you need to go back and listen to that episode and many of the others on the network. We're going to highlight a few of those in the magazine. And then also, if you've not seen the show on YouTube with Mary Daniel, if you've not heard it on the podcast, you can actually click on the link and you will actually be able to read the story, see a lot of the great pictures of her in action. What just an incredible story of love and commitment to her husband, and what a great story she had to share with us.
Absolutely. Another great highlight from this year was Peggy Grand. She is the executive assistant to President Ronald Reagan. What a very cool story that is. And I love seeing her out on the news networks, talking about her book, talking about current events in the political world and cultural issues. What a fascinating person.
Absolutely. Well, one of the cool things that I hear feedback on from our listeners, and a question I get asked a lot by people that are being exposed newly to our podcast, and they want to know more about it. They said, well, what exactly do you talk about? We talk about just about every kind of thought leadership topic on our show, the Josh and Lucas Monday show, that you can imagine. And we have a host of different guests, folks like Stephen Flint of Solstice Senior Living, even some of the great committed partners to our industry, like Dan Lawson of Viking Pure. We've highlighted those in the magazine. You can go back with links from that magazine and listen to these episodes that you might have missed. But it's awesome that we bring together so many thought leaders from so many different areas of senior living, just about anything you want, any kind of content you can find.
The magazine will also have ambassador spotlights with great ambassadors from last year: Matt Reiners, Chris Hord, Michelle Clark, and Micah Hunt. These are some of the best BTG ambassadors that we have. They've become great friends. We really appreciate them. And they were actually on the BTG network last year, telling their stories and the passion behind what drives them. And if you want to go back and listen to those, it's a great way to catch up with some ambassadors and hear their stories. You know, Josh, part of our network is highlighting these stories, these love stories, and the passion behind the people that are in this business. And that content is evergreen. It doesn't go out of date. It's not out of style. And so there's a whole library of content that people can go back and listen to and get that story and that information that is going to encourage them and inform them.
You're exactly right. And speaking of really thinking about the awesome things that have happened this year and pushing into next year, VIP Ignite experience. After 5 years, it's hard to believe that we went from a podcast to a network to now a media company that produces great in-person experiences. And what an experience it was in Music City, Nashville, to have people like Scott Hamilton keynote, to have singer-songwriters, friends of ours like our good friend Jay Allen, Carrie Barlow and friends. Lucas, it was a highlight of my year, not just the podcast.
Wow. I mean, the memories from that were incredible. And we're going to feature and highlight all of that in the new digital magazine. Josh, so excited to release this. This is a big project from BTG, and we know that the senior living industry is going to love looking through this digital magazine here on the BTG network. Sign up for the release. Make sure you're in our database and getting our newsletter so that you can have access to that great new magazine that's launching. And you can go to our website right now and look at the year in review. That was our very first release, and you're going to want to check that out right now. You know, Josh, in addition to the magazine, we are adding new shows on the BTG network, and a couple of them are Raising Tech. And it's going to be tech trends and solutions. It's brought to you by Parasol Alliance. That was a launch for last season. And so there's a whole library of shows that you can go back to and just search for Raising Tech and listen to those. We also had a great partnership with Activity Strong, an initiative led by Linked Senior, monthly conversations around wellness programming and purpose for seniors. That's been a fantastic partnership with them. And not to mention, our Contributor Wednesday. Josh, we got a whole new lineup of great rock star contributors coming to the BTG network.
Any content you want to find, you can find it on the Bridge the Gap network. A lot of people don't know that. And there's way more content, way more shows out there than just the Josh and Lucas show. You can go back if you want to know more about the contributors and listen to episode 84. And that will tell you, and we break down a lot of those different guest contributors that will be providing awesome content on deep dive topics that I know you're going to want to hear. So, Lucas, can we tell them what's coming next? This is a big, exciting year to where we're expanding our offerings again.
That's right. That's right. A lot of this that we've already highlighted is what's coming next. We're going to have new shows coming out, and that's still yet to be launched, but be looking for new shows, new content to educate and inform you and influence you. Our digital publication is going to be awesome. And if you are a brand out there that presents or provides a product or service to the senior housing industry, the new digital magazine is a great way to spotlight and highlight your brand. Shoot us a message on our btgvoice.com and we'll get with you on our menu of options there. We also are going to be launching a brand new website and new ways to get in contact with Josh and Lucas and the whole BTG team. Very excited about that. A bunch of new things. And you know what? We want to hear from you. How has Bridge the Gap impacted you? Have you learned new things? Are you new to the industry, and have you used the Bridge the Gap network to help you get on the fast track to knowing about the senior living industry? And then, Josh, it's all about the guests on our Monday show. We want new guests. We want new topics. What's most important to you, right?
Absolutely. And I get asked all the time, how do we get our ideas? How do we get on the show? And I'll tell you, it's pretty easy. btgvoice.com, go to the contact us. There's a little drop down menu. And what we really want to hear there is not necessarily all about your product or service, because let's face it, there is tons of products and services that are awesome. We will talk about those, and we talk about those on different shows. But what we really want to know is, what is the topic that we want to discuss, and what do you want to add value to in that discussion? So make sure you make that information very clear in that contact us. Our team, that is actually a lot bigger than me and Lucas get together very frequently, and we go over all these requests and we try to pick the things that we think will add the most value back to the industry. So we want to hear from you, as Lucas said, and we love your ideas.
You know what, Josh? We have been humbled beyond belief about the types of reviews that we have gotten on iTunes and other podcast platforms. And we really don't ask people to do that. I don't even remember the last time that we've asked people to go and review. So this is really more of a thank you to the dozens and dozens of people that have taken the time to go on to iTunes and give us an honest review. And fortunately for us, which is great and validating and very encouraging, is that they are all positive reviews, all 5 stars. And we really appreciate that. Thank you for taking time to do that. What that does is, if you enjoy BTG, if you enjoy Bridge the Gap and the content that we bring, when you like and subscribe, and then also rate us on iTunes and other platforms, what that does is it helps get the BTG message out to even more people. You know, Josh, we've been contacted by multiple university programs that have said, hey, our class curriculum and our students are listening to your show. And a part of that is because of you, the listeners, liking and commenting and rating us, and it gets out to even more people. And these messages from our thought leaders in this industry is being, it's just going out, which is our big goal.
Well, and I think sometimes, Lucas, after 5 years of having some of the best of the best, not some of the best of the best thought leaders in the industry, and even outside the industry that are bringing their ideas into our industry, we get to talk to these people every single Monday. And I think sometimes me and you even take that for granted, that we are getting world-class education. Many of these people are lecturers, leaders of massive world influence organizations that are normally paid a lot of money to do keynotes and educational, and they are actually providing this on the Bridge the Gap network, free and accessible, to help raise the bar and help all of our IQ.
Big drum roll to our final topic on our season opener show, VIP Ignite Experience 2022. This is going to be the event in the senior living industry for 2022. And we want everybody to know that we're going to be releasing the save the date. Guess what? Mark it down. August 29th and 30th in Nashville, Tennessee. Put it down on your calendars and make sure you go to VIPigniteexperience.com. Sign up to get the most up-to-date information so that you know the details around the event, the location of the event, details on the experience, the keynote speakers, the entertainment, and most of all, get your name on the invite list so that you can grab a ticket, because this will be a very limited offering and it will sell out.
Absolutely. Sold out last year. Amazing that this is already getting a lot of requests even before today's episode of dropping the dates. We've been getting in requests for people requesting an invite to this over the last several months since we finished our first experience. So very limited space on this. You're going to want to be part of it. Don't miss a thing. Go to VIPigniteexperience.com. You want to subscribe there. You want to request, as Lucas said, that invitation. And what we are doing is our committee is trying to get as many people as we can into this event, but our hotel and our accommodations is very limited. We want to keep this intimate. We want to make sure we have the people there that are going to be able to build trust, ignite change together, to continue to carry the torch for our industry. Very, very exciting. This year, also, me and Lucas are going to be preparing you for what you're going to experience. This is like nothing else. If you've never been to one of these, we're going to give you something new, something different, and you need to be prepared for it going into it. So make sure you subscribe, and you'll be hit with our text messages if you want that format, with our email messages to prepare you for this exciting event.
Highly customized event tailored to our industry and tailored to our leaders in this industry. And we are setting up an environment for people to come together and make experiences that create relationships that last forever. And so this is going to be an unforgettable event in 2022, August 29th and 30th in Nashville. Mark your calendars and get on that list so that you can be a part of our VIP event. We want to see you there. Josh, incredible progress and journey for Bridge the Gap, and God willing, we have so much more to accomplish. Very excited about our new offerings for this year, many more sponsorship opportunities. If you want to be a part of Bridge the Gap, if you want to be a part of supporting great educational content that is going out to this industry, contact us at our website. We'd love to set up a meeting with you and talk to you about how we can promote your brand alongside this great educational content. And then to our listeners, we just want to thank you for listening in, being with us, helping support us, following us. We love hearing from you on our social media sites, especially LinkedIn. We see a lot of you there. We appreciate that so much.
Absolutely. And we want to leave you with encouragement to be the bridge. We've been saying that since season 1. That's why we developed the name Bridge the Gap. We hope that this network helps you do that wherever you are, whether that's in a community, whether that's you are a frontline worker, whether you're a regional, whether you're a C-suite. Be the bridge. You are in a unique place, prepared at a unique time to use these experiences that you've had. Some of those are great experiences. Some of those are not so good experiences. Some of them are just ugly experiences that we wished we weren't living through sometimes, but they have uniquely prepared you for right where you are today. So be the bridge in 2022. That's our goal for you.
And a huge thanks to all of the people that are a part of the Bridge the Gap team, especially Solinity Marketing. They help us produce this every single week. For over 4 years, we have never missed a production week, and we have constantly been committed to bringing you this content on a weekly basis over and over and over again. So we have a huge team of people that help us do this, and we are very, very grateful. Make sure you go to btgvoice.com, connect with us. We want to hear from you. And thanks to everybody for listening to another great episode to the start of a new season here on Bridge the Gap.
Thanks for listening to Bridge the Gap podcast with Josh and Lucas. Connect with the BTG Network team and use your voice to influence the industry by connecting with us at btgvoice.com.